Western American states include California. California shares borders with the Mexican state of Baja California to the south, Oregon to the north, Nevada and Arizona to the east, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. It is the most populated and the third largest state in terms of area in the United States, home to roughly 39.2 million people over a total area of around 163,696 square miles, 423,970 square kilometers. Additionally, it has the 34th highest population in the world and is the most populous subnational entity in North America. The Greater Los Angeles area and the San Francisco Bay Area are the second and fifth most populated urban regions in the U.S., with over 18.7 million and over 9.6 million inhabitants, respectively. The most populous city in the state and the second most populous city in the U.S. is Los Angeles, which is located in Sacramento, the state's capital. San Bernardino County is the largest county in terms of area, whereas Los Angeles County is the most populous county in the nation. There are other larger subdivisions in Alaska, but they are not counties. San Francisco, which is both a city and a county, has the second highest population density of any major city in the U.S. and the fifth highest density of any county. With a gross state output of $3.2 trillion as of 2019, California's economy is the largest subnational economy in the world. By 2020, it would have the fifth largest economy in the world and the 37th highest population ranking. As of 2020, the Greater Los Angeles area and the San Francisco Bay Area had the second and third largest urban economies in the U.S., with respective GDPs of $1.0 trillion and $0.5 trillion. In big primary statistical areas, the San Francisco Bay Area combined statistical area has the highest GDP per capita in the country, $106,757 in 2018. It is also home to 4 of the 10 richest people in the world and 5 of the 10 largest firms in the world by market capitalization. California has produced significant contributions to popular culture, such as in the fields of entertainment and sports. The state has also made important contributions to the realms of politics, economy, innovation, environmentalism, and communication. It is the birthplace of Hollywood, the world's oldest and biggest film business, which has had a significant impact on entertainment around the world. Among other developments, it is regarded as the birthplace of the hippie counterculture, beach and car culture, and the personal computer. The Greater Los Angeles area and the San Francisco Bay Area are frequently cited as the epicenters of the international film and technology industries, respectively. California has a fairly broad economy, with 58% of it based on sectors including real estate, government, banking, and professional, scientific, and technological business services. California has the highest agricultural output of any state in the United States, despite agriculture making up only 1.5% of the state's economy. A third of all imports into the United States pass through the ports and harbors of California, the majority of which come from trade in the Pacific Rim. California is well known for many things, but one of the most notable issues that it's recently been known for is a major one that's been getting a lot worse as time has gone on. Water, the very lifeblood of everything, is frequently a difficult resource to come by here. Anyone who has ever lived anywhere near this state has been bombarded almost their entire lives by the almost constant frightening news of drought, water restrictions, and scathing weather events. California's massive $50 billion a year agricultural sector is the state's largest water consumer, using up another 40% of the state's total water supply. But there's a good reason for this. The state is one of the world's largest breadbaskets, with an abundance of highly fertile soil throughout the Central Valley. When combined with a warm Mediterranean-style climate, California produces a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. More than 250 different kinds of crops are grown by farmers in California, but out of all of them, the crop that always seems to get the most attention is almonds. This is an industry that California absolutely dominates, as around 80% of the entire worldwide supply of almonds are produced there. The Central Valley alone produces more than 8% of America's entire agricultural output by value and produces roughly a quarter of the nation's supply of food. Westerly winds bring moisture from the Pacific Ocean to the state, where they first hit California's numerous high mountain ranges. Here, the air blowing in from the Pacific rises, cools, and produces precipitation, making the various western-facing sides of mountain slopes some of the rainiest parts of the state. Storms barreling into the state from the colder Pacific Northwest will bring abundant amounts of rainfall to the northernmost half of the Central Valley, but they fail to penetrate much further into the southernmost edges of the valley where the conditions are significant. Northwest California in particular has a very temperate climate with average rainfall rates of 1,300 millimeters a year, more than double the average rainfall that London will see in a year. The areas to the east of these mountains in the state receive significantly less rainfall and snowfall than the rest of the state does, which is largely why the areas here are made up of the Sonoran and Mojave deserts. The rain-shadow region to the east of these mountains is much drier because westerly winds carrying moisture in from the Pacific fail to climb higher than the tall peaks of the mountains. The single most crucial information to remember about California's water is undoubtedly that the vast majority of rain and snowfall occurs in the northern third of the state due to the state's hilly terrain right near to the Pacific Ocean. In contrast, 80% of California's population lives in the lower two-thirds of the state, where only 25% of the state's water supply originates. This almost inevitably means that massive volumes of water from the northern third of California must be transported. This is because only 20% of the state's population lives in the area above Sacramento, where approximately 75% of the state's water supply is sourced from. This is further complicated by the fact that the majority of this rain and snowfall in California only occurs between December and February, when the state is typically drier. During these months, massive amounts of snow typically fall upon the high peaks of the Sierra Nevadas, the Cascade Mountains, and the Klamath Mountains. However, this results in long-lasting effects throughout the rest of the year or even be California's current water system, which primarily moves water from the north of the state down to the south, knowing that most of the waterfalls are in the northern third of the state but that most of the population is in the south, has been under a tremendous amount of stress as a result of the state receiving significantly less rainfall and snowfall than average over the past 22 years, higher temperatures, and increased evaporation of existing water. While they all sound great, these engineering systems are only functional as long as the sources they draw water from are actually still providing that water. For instance, in the case of the Colorado River specifically and the numerous reservoirs along its stream, they are all currently at cripplingly low historic water levels. This has led some to claim that California is the most engineered state in the nation. With about 40 million people depending on the Colorado River and its various reservoirs for not only drinking water but also power generation in the case of Las Vegas and much of Southern California due to the ongoing mega drought and the depletion of water, reservoirs on the river like Lake Powell in southern Utah and Lake Mead in Nevada are each approaching just 25 of their normal water capacities. Decreasing the rates of evaporation while also pushing the polar jet stream further north across British Columbia and Washington state, dramatically reducing the winds and moisture that normally come to California from the Pacific and bringing even worse drought-like conditions like less rainfall and higher temperatures to the state. In turn, this has somewhat of a cascading effect as the atmospheric temperature rises, i.e., with California's water usage already being relatively high compared to the rest of the United States, what is left is a pretty vicious cycle that is difficult to break short of the La Nina event itself coming to its natural conclusion, which can frequently take months or even years. This summer is certainly going to be challenging for the state because of all the restrictions. California's water authorities have already requested a 35% reduction in water use throughout the system. Due to the lack of water, it is also anticipated that some farmland will have to be completely abandoned. Some experts have even predicted that up to 600,000 acres could be left fallow by the end of the summer, an area nearly twice the size of Los Angeles. This is because underground aquifers have already been overpumped and are running low. Farmers in the state will quickly only have a few options left for the future. There aren't any simple solutions to this major issue, which is sad for California. Mandatory water recycling programs, expensive investments in desalination technologies, and plants along the saline California coast all have their own problems and high related costs. Whatever the solution to that issue is, California needs to be proactive today to prevent a major water catastrophe in the future. Becoming more efficient and using less water is going to become even more crucial for the state in the near future. I appreciate you watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.